Hi everybody and welcome. This is Mobita Nawa. There is a very serious topic in land ownership, which is in whose name must the title deed be? When a couple owns land, in whose name must the title deed be? I'm not a lawyer, so allow me to speak from personal experiences and also observation. My father and mother owned land. My father and mother had all the properties they owned in both their names. Both their names. So that's my background. I come from a background where what I own, my wife owns. What she owns, I hope I own. I do. And I'm also married to a woman who, before I married my wife, I bought her a car. Before I married her, I bought her a car. And I changed the car in her name. I put the car in her name, ownership in her name. My wife got the white book of that car, brought it back to me and says, no, please keep it. I want it to be with where all the documents are. Keep it for me. We bought a piece of property for my in-laws. My wife, I gave her everything. I said, you go do everything. She went and did everything. When she came back from that meeting, my wife brought all the documents for that property back to me and said, babe, thank you for everything, but you keep this. That's my background. The law in Zambia states that when you are married, whatever you own, you jointly own with your partner. That's the law in Zambia. Whatever you acquired during your relationship must be jointly owned with your partner. That's the law in Zambia. It's not what Mobita wants. It's what the law says. I see a lot of young people, they are not yet married, and they are buying properties in each other's names. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't encourage you to do that. That is, you are creating problems for yourselves. Ownership of these assets must be backed by the constitution of the land. And there is no law that backs young couples to be who are buying land together, who are investing in businesses together without the matrimonial law backing you up. Now, look, love is blind, okay? You guys love each other, do what you gotta do. But I don't encourage you to do that. It's hard to talk about these things without seemingly offending some people or doing a telltale on some people. But I just want to say, as a couple, do your best to own the properties together. That's all I gotta say. Some of you are too sensitive. You don't like truth. Even if I told you the truth now, some of you, you'll be offended by me. You'll be upset with me for telling you the truth. But the truth is the truth. And ownership of land, ownership of property must be joint. Many years ago, I knew someone who owned all the properties were in his name, but he was married. And I felt that that was not the right thing to do. But I can't interfere. You are a family, you are a couple, do what suits you. Don't follow what Mobita Nawa is saying. Do what suits you. And lastly, for those couples that have gone through divorce or are going through divorce or might go through divorce, I want you to know that when love ends, don't destroy what you have built together with someone just because you hate them or just because they are now a stupid person or a silly person or they are not wise. I've seen couples ransack and destroy wealth because they are no longer together. You can still own a property together even with your ex, because that property has got tenants. They are paying you money. You can share that money every month. Why should you disturb tenants as if tenants are the ones who brought about your divorce? I have seen men divorce a woman. They have a children with that woman. They go and sell everything to punish that woman. In the process, they are punishing their children. Why should you do that? Your children are innocent. And apart from the innocence of your children, you yourself will need that property one day. You will need that money from that property one day. So it is possible to call on things even after relationships break. As long as you are professional, you are using lawyers, there is some kind of mutual agreement and understanding, it is possible. But to sell assets just because munazonda vinasira, the asset doesn't know any of that. You bought that asset because you believed in it. Again, I might be speaking from a point of idealism, but I think it's also realism, because these are things some of us have experienced, have seen, and have made decisions to protect certain assets in the interest of children and in the interest of families. And sometimes, dear ladies and gentlemen, when relationships end, do not burn the wealth. Move on. Go and create new wealth. That's all I have to say. So in whose name must the title deed be? Muvita Nawa says, let it be in both your names. It's also good to keep property in both names to protect that property from both sides of the relatives. I might have crazy relatives. She might have crazy relatives. So to protect the asset, let us put it in both our names so that should anything happen, we are protected. I'm just saying, some of these our relatives, they are crazy. They will smile for you today, but wait. Wait until stuff happens. That's when you realize that, can't she? Anyway, have a beautiful Monday. Not the best motivational talk on a Monday, but it's the truth. Take it or leave it. God bless you. Bye-bye.